face of Michael Myers himself.
Let's see here.
Here, hold on. How about...
Nobody's home, man. Nobody's home. Oh, thank you. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
How are you?
Top of the world.
Happy to be here.
Top of the world. Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Summer.
Summer? Nice to meet you, Summer.
Thank you. I am the co-host of the Dolls of Horror podcast for
You
the
guys
Days
mind
of
if
the
I take
Dead.
this down?
No.
Sorry about the fucking face. But
Please take it.
ugly mug, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I go to the supermarkets, you know. What's great for me is that nobody knows who I am, except for here. You know, conventions, right? But I can go anywhere, right? Like supermarkets or whatever, and all they go, they look at me and they go, oh, old, bald, fat guy. They don't know who I am. It's great. It's awesome.
That's kind of what I like about mask life, though, is I can go to the supermarket and look any way I want, and no one knows who I am now. I don't feel like I have to comb my hair or wear good clothes because no one cares. No one knows.
Nice
Or wear a
setup.
bra.
Nice setup.
That's true.
Right. What's your name, man?
Henry,
That's
Henry,
my
nice to meet
husband.
you guys.
nice to meet you, brother.
That's my husband.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Nice
yeah.
to meet you. Real professional type of setup. So how you guys enjoying the show?
Oh, it's awesome. It's
Pretty
awesome.
fun times, huh?
Yeah.
And probably almost everybody, all the celebrities you met have been cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only like a few that are assholes, you know?
Yeah.
But they're not here at this show, I don't think. Because I know who they are. You know? And they're not in the in crowd with me, man.
No.
They can kiss my ass. You guys have any questions?
Who are they?
Yeah, I already told you I'm not gonna say, man. You know? I don't rat no matter what. You know what I mean? But yeah, usually this is what happens. Nobody's got any questions until I start going, and so I'll start going. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll help you
Sounds
guys.
good.
I'll help you guys out.
I have a question.
Sure.
How'd you get involved in Halloween?
That's exactly where I was gonna
What
go.
was your origin on it?
That's exactly where I was gonna go. I was. Oh, let me start with this. Any of you guys watch the TV series Happy Days?
Yeah.
Erin? Mhm.
Erin, yeah. My little sister played Joni Cunningham, Erin Moran, on Happy Days, right? So I grew up in a corporate setting at Paramount Studios where she worked and did Happy Days, suits and stuff like that, And I did a commercial with her when I was 9 and she was 5 and I hated it and I didn't do it anymore. Anyways, when I got out of high school, I didn't really, I was being drafted by the California Angels for baseball, but I tore up my knee and shit, so that went down the tubes. So I had nothing to do, So I was like, well, I'll be an actor, why not, And so I went with my little sister's agent. So I'm in this workshop, taking myself pretty fucking serious, doing Romeo and Juliet shit and, Shakespeare. And back then, the only way you could see TNA is in pornos or soft porn or horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay? So in '78, it's not like it is now. If you did a horror movie and a director or producer found out about it, they didn't take you seriously. They looked down on you. Okay? So I'm, broke as a joke, as they say, and I'm sleeping on the couch, and I hadn't done anything yet, and I'm in this workshop, and my agent calls me up, who's my little sister's agent. She goes, hey man, she goes, I'm sorry it's been so slow, nothing's going on, and you can't be in the Screen Actors Guild unless you get a job, and you can't get a job unless you're in Screen Actors Guild, so it's like you catch 22, right? So she goes, but I got this really low budget horror movie. It's called Halloween. It's $350,000, and it plays some psycho, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. I'm like, well, who the fuck is that? She explains who she is, and I go, no, I'm not interested. I'm not going to do it, even though I'm broke. I'm sleeping on a couch. She goes, well, this director's supposed to be pretty good and all that, you know. He did this movie called Soul in Precinct 13 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not interested. And yeah, no, it's true. It's a true story. Yeah, believe me, I'm the most blessed guy walking the earth. Believe me, because I was such an asshole back then. So she goes, nah, man, you got it. You know, it's just like one day. Don't worry about it. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You know. She goes, well, look, Donald Pleasance is in it. And I'm like, and I knew her at that point for about 11, 12 years, you know, so she was an Italian chick, and I said, you full of shit, Mary, you know, what the fuck would you, I could talk to her any way I want, you know, why would the fuck do you tell me this, she's, you know, that Donald Pleasance is in this movie, she's a big fan of his, you know, classic British actor, what the fuck would he be doing in this movie, right? She goes, Tony, I swear to God, he's in the movie. I'm like, come on, she goes, he signed the contract, he's in. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I thought, okay, I thought to myself, you know, if I got the part, at least I'm in a movie with Donald Pleasance. Why he's in this movie, I have no idea. If I don't get it, I don't care, you know? So no big deal. So I go, okay, this is on a Wednesday, and the interview's on a Friday. And I go, so now what do I do in this movie again? She goes, I don't know, you just play some psycho. I have no clue, you know? I'm like, all right, okay. So I thought, fuck it, you know, if they want psycho, I'll give them psycho, you know? So I don't sleep for 2 days. Don't shower, don't shave, nothing, you know, wear some really ratty ass clothes. And I go to this interview, and it's in the ghetto part of Hollywood because it's such a low budget movie, right? And I go to the place, it's a little single room up above somebody else, some other business, and off an alley in Hollywood. And I meet the producer, Erwin Blonde. He was on the right-hand side behind the desk. He's clean cut. I'm like, all right, it's not so bad, you know? And then he goes, points across the room, and he points to John Carpenter. He goes, this is my director, John Carpenter. He stands up, and he's got a ponytail, and t-shirt, jeans, and tennis shoes. I'm like, oh, fuck, you know? So all they did was talk to me for 10 minutes max. They didn't tell me anything about the movie. They didn't say shit. They just talked to me about my life and what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. So about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, 5, I don't know, it was in the afternoon, my agent calls me up and she goes, oh, congratulations, you got the job. I'm like, what do you fucking do? So, bringing up my little sister, meaning my little sister had some problems, personal problems her whole life, you know, being brought up in Hollywood. So she was estranged from the family and didn't talk to us for years, right? One of the first conventions I do is in New Jersey called Chiller. You know, it was my first real convention I ever did, you know? Well, that's when she found out I did Halloween. It was in 2006. I think my parents died without even knowing I did it. Because at that point, after I did it, I started seeing all these fucking Halloween movies coming out all over the place, right? I'm like, what the fuck? You know? Because I only saw 1 and 2, because that's the only ones I was involved with, right? And even 2, all I did, they say, hey man, can we pay you and give you the credit for using your footage of 1? I'm like, yeah. Get paid for doing nothing, I'll take it, you know? And so I never saw the other ones. I just kept seeing them coming out in the theaters, you know? And so I never, after that, at that point, I thought, why tell anybody I did the movie, you know? It's because that'd be kind of dumb, you know? Like, ooh, I'm Mike Myers, you know? So I didn't. So that's how she found out I did the movie. Hilarious, huh? So it gets better. It gets better. So I get my set date, and they got my measurements and everything. And I have to go to the house in Hollywood on Orange Street or Avenue, whatever it is, and do my thing. And they tell me who to ask for as far as the wardrobe chick, right? So I get to the house and I ask for Sue or Mary, whatever her name was, I don't know. And they go, okay, yeah, she'll be right down. So this girl comes down, and she's got the coveralls over her arms, and the airborne boots that have the hooks in the heel, you know, to hold, you know, so it's in her fingers. And she had a mask and a jar of Vaseline. And she goes, hey, Tony, how you doing? How's it going? Oh, nice to meet you. We're so excited. Oh, well, you know, what's going on? I'm like, fuck. Okay. She goes, here's your stuff, you know. And I go, okay, cool, you know. And I go, she puts her arms out, you know, for me to take everything. not just the boots and the coveralls, but everything. Mask and the Vaseline, jar of Vaseline. So I point at the mask and go, what's that for? Because my agent, all she said was, you play some psycho. That's all she said. That's all she knew. And she goes, you have to wear this. I go, what? She goes, yeah, you wear this in the movie. I go, I wear a fucking mask in this movie? She goes, yeah. I go, you gotta be kidding me. I'm getting pissed off, right? She goes, no, don't worry about it, It's okay, it's okay. You know, at the end, Jim is gonna take it off your head and you get to see your face. No, it's okay. I'm like, oh, fuck. You know, because I already signed the contract. I'm already, in, right? And I go, okay, I had a lot of hair back then. And, because I was only 21, And I go, well, what's the Vaseline for? She goes, well, the mask is 100% latex. And when she rips that mask off, if you don't have Vaseline in your hair, it'll just tear your hair out like Velcro. I'm like, oh shit. So you gotta put that Vaseline in your hair so it just slides right off. Which I had to use apple cider vinegar to cut it, a knife to get it out of my fucking hair, And that's how that happened. You asked.
I did.
You did, yeah.
Thank you for answering.
Yeah, I got a million stories, honey. I got a million of them.
What's your favorite story?
That one.
There you go.
Well, there's another one. There's another one. Well, there's a lot of them. That's right. You've heard a lot of them. Yeah. Well, yeah, because they just keep happening, don't they? Yeah. The last time I was here in Chicago, something happened, right? Yeah. Yes. We won't get into that. But, okay, so back then there was no Netflix, Blockbuster, or any of that shit, right? If a movie was popular, it'd stay in the theaters, all year long, right? Oh, let me back up a little bit. We filmed in April. In August, I get this invitation in the mail from John Carpenter, and he wants me to come to the screening of the movie for the cast and crew. And I thought that was the most fucking hilarious goddamn thing in the world, because nobody's gonna see this piece of shit that has a mask in it. It'll be in the theater for drive-in, not even in the theater for like a week or two, and that's why I threw it away. I just threw the invitation away. I didn't even go like an asshole. No, I know. I was an asshole. So yeah, I know. So the movie comes out, and these two critics that were very famous back then on network TV happened to see the movie, and they gave it the thumbs up, and that's how Halloween became really big, right? So I'm doing my thing in Hollywood, bartending and shit like that, and I'm going down Sunset Boulevard to get to the 405 freeway to get back to my house. And on the way on Sunset towards the freeway is a little town called Westwood. It was in once upon a time in Hollywood. Remember when you go to the movie theater to watch a movie? That's Westwood. Great place, beautiful theaters. And I'm going down, minding my own business, right? And I'm in my Volkswagen Bug, little piece of shit car. And I see this billboard, and it's Halloween. And I cannot fucking believe this, right? I'm like, what the fuck? A billboard for this piece of shit? And then all of a sudden I see the movie playing everywhere, right? So I said to my girlfriend after a while, I go, have you noticed this fucking movie's playing everywhere? She goes, yeah. I go, well, fuck, wanna go see it? She goes, sure, why not? So we go, the place is packed, people are screaming, Dad, run, all that crap, And halfway through, I just turned and I go, this movie's not too bad. It's not bad. That's how I saw the movie. What a dumb shit. Yeah, that's how that happened. Funny, huh? Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? Still no? Okay. Moving right along.
You guys don't have one?
There.
You go.
Well, you said
You're gonna break the ice here.
You
Yes.
said you were a big Donald Trump fan. Did you get to meet him?
We did the scene together.
I mean, but like any
No.
conversations that
Here's a story about him and why he was in the movie. He was like me. He was like ashamed. to do the movie. Between takes, he always went back to his motorhome thing, his dressing room. He was the only one that got one, by the way. He was polite. He wasn't overly nice, but he didn't overly talk, but he wasn't like an asshole, or a snob or anything like that. He just wasn't real friendly. But then I found out why he did the movie. He was on his 4th divorce and he needed the alimony money. Is why he did the movie. Then later on in his career, he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him, which I was really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that. Because, please. If you ever meet John Carpenter, he's really a cool guy. He did the fucking movie as a joke, and he still feels that way. He never took it seriously. Like he was some fucking mastermind guy, He's really humble about it. He just fucked around and made a good movie. Yeah, crazy. And perfect storm. The music, how that happened was they had a music guy that they were going to pay to do the music, the score for the movie. But by the end of the movie, they had no more money. So he said, sorry, we can't pay you. So John Carpenter, who was an amateur musician, he got on the keyboard for 3 days and came up with the music. That's how that happened. Probably on cocaine. And you know what I mean? Yeah, please, come on. So, yeah, and that's how that happened.
Were you a horror fan before you got involved, or?
Well, I'm not really a fan of anything,
Okay.
As far as fanatic-wise. But Psycho is my favorite all-time horror movie of all time, because it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. It still freaks me out to this day, and so does The Exorcist, because I was brought up Catholic. So, hey, listen to this shit, man. I was an altar boy. Can you imagine? My fucking parents made me go to a Catholic school for almost 8 years. I almost did it. I only had a couple more months to make it, to graduate, but I got kicked out. But here's the deal. Starting in 7th grade, you could be an altar boy, right? And I talked to my buddies who were older than me, and they go, yeah, you want to be an altar boy, and you want to do funerals. I go, no shit. He goes, yeah. Because where my school parish was in Universal City, where all the movie stars went to church, right? If you do funerals, which nobody really wanted to do but me, and I'll never forget. Who wants to be an altar boy? I went, who wants to do funerals? Yeah, I'm in. I want to do funerals. Because you get out of 2 classes on Tuesday and 2 classes on Thursday, and then all you gotta do when you do the service is you just look a little sad and say you're sorry, and you put out your hand and they give you $5. Right? I'm like, fucking yeah. So that's how I became an altar boy. And but I didn't quite make it to graduation day because got kicked out.
I think I know the answer's gonna be no, but did you keep like a mask of
Yeah,
overall?
yeah, back then it wasn't like how it is now. We just didn't, nobody kept anything, nobody knew. Literally, we thought maybe a week or 2 in the drive-in, and that was about it, so no. What's his name, who played, who wore the mask in 2?
Dick Warlock?
Yeah, he used to own the mask, and then he sold it for, I think it was 40 grand.
Oh.
And it was all deteriorating and all that,
Yeah.
I guess he needed the money, I don't know. I would have never sold it. I'd sleep in my truck and keep that thing.
Yeah.
I would never sell that bitch, but he did. And I think what I heard was it was $40,000. And there's always the thing of, what color was the coveralls, were they green or were they a bluish? They're a bluish. Was there 1 mask, 2 masks, 3 masks? I think there might have been 2, but I don't remember 1. There were 6 people that wore the mask in the movie. Deborah Hill, who was the producer, there's a long shot in the movie where they show Michael Myers across the street, That's Deborah Hill. Yeah, the girl, the producer, So, in independent movies, which I still do now because I love them, I don't do Hollywood. Well, I'll tell you the story about this new Halloween Kills thing. I'll tell you how that happened, because it's pretty funny. Once an asshole, still an asshole, you know what I mean? So, so whoever is available, just put the fucking mask on, okay? Just go, put the mask on, And that's how that works with the independent movies. But I have like a kind of an agent, I never talk to her, because I don't care. I don't chase Hollywood. I don't care for Hollywood at all. If they want me, they have to come to me. Is my point. And she calls me up and she goes, she's kind of laughing, and the name of her agency is called Black Apple Talent. Yeah, like me. So anyway, she goes, I haven't told you this that way. Have you heard this yet? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So she's kind of laughing, but not real hard, but kind of laughing because she knows my reaction. She goes, hey man, there's a new movie coming out with Halloween thing. It's kind of called Halloween Kills. I'm like, okay. She goes, they want to use your footage. I'm like, all right. I go, how much? She goes, yeah, here's the deal. They don't want to pay you. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, what about credit? She goes, yeah, they don't want to do that either. I said, okay. I quote this, I swear to God, this is exactly what I said. It's not a big deal, just tell me to fuck off. Nope. She goes, okay. So she calls me back a week later, and she's laughing again. She goes, okay, look at me. Here's the deal. They're gonna pay you, but they don't want to give you the credit. I'm like, well, how much? Tells me. I'm like, yeah, okay. Tell them to go fuck themselves. She hangs up, calls me a week later. She goes, you're not gonna believe this. And I'm like, because all you gotta do is bitch slap these Hollywood fuckers, man, and they'll do whatever you want, So she calls me up, she goes, hey man, she goes, here's what's going on. She's gonna pay you, and they're gonna give you credit. I go, yeah, what's the credit? She goes, you're not gonna believe it. I'm like, okay, what is it? She goes, special thanks to Tony Moran. I'm like, you fucking assholes. Why couldn't you just done it in the first place? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's just so messed up. They're lowballing you when they know the value of the franchise.
Yeah, but they're used to dealing with people that feel like they have no value.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dealing with the wrong person when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's just not good. I mean, I watched Hollywood just fucking absolutely ruin my little sister. Just ruin her, man. I mean, how she got on cocaine was because Gary Marshall came to her and said, you're kind of pudgy. And so that's how she started doing cocaine, to lose weight. It's terrible. I mean, terrible shit that goes down. And women in Hollywood have it the absolute worst because they have to be skinny and shit, they have to, it's terrible. It's just terrible. But yeah, anyways, that's a whole different subject altogether.
So are there any scenes that you guys shot and that didn't get used in the movie that you remember or were sharing?
No, and what I've heard is there was nothing left on the cutting room floor. Yeah, there was nothing left. You guys know how the mask came about? I'm sure you guys know what the mask is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how the mask came about, though?
No.
Yeah, okay. So they knew when Michael Myers was 6 years old, they knew they wanted to use that clown mask, right?
I know
God bless
that
you.
sound.
Gazoon type. But they knew they didn't want to use that when he grew up. So Tommy Lee Wallace, who did a scene which is my absolute favorite scene in the whole movie, which is the closet scene. That's my favorite because it's so frightening. I mean, you're locked in this closet and there's nowhere to go, man. You know, this is great. And the reason why he did that scene is because it was at a house, a real house, and a low budget film, and you know the closet doors were like these wood slats. If they had to do more than one take, he knew, because he was a set director and editor, where to punch through in the exact same place if they had to do one more, more than one take. Okay? Well, he was in charge of finding a mask. They had no idea what mask they wanted. And he'll tell you the story if you ever meet him. He's a great guy. So he went down to Hollywood to costume stores and Halloween stores and everything, looking for something, and he didn't know what he was looking for because they didn't know. They knew they didn't want like a Frankenstein mask and shit like that, but they just didn't know. So he came across William Shatner's face, right? And it was flesh colored, had more hair and sideburns and eyebrows. And he said, because when you talk to him, you can tell he's done some acid too. So that was neat. And he said that he just stopped and he just stared at it, and he just stared at it and stared at it, and thought, you know what, this could work because there's nothing really to it. And that's how the mask came about. And they painted it white, fixed the eyebrows and the sideburns up a little bit, and that's how that mask became that mask. And it was the first, if you guys know, I mean, there was never a mask used in a horror movie before. It was the first time. There's always makeup, right? If you think about it. And that's why I was so, like, I gotta wear this piece of shit? What are you talking about? You know? But that was the first time it was introduced, you know? Yeah. Nutty. Nutty. Like I said, it was oh no. The cops are here. But it was the perfect, it's one of the best stories because everything just fell right into place for that movie. You know, it just fell right into place. I mean, everything was perfect. It was like a perfect storm kind of thing. You know. Anyways, yeah. Hi, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucker. Anybody?